Chapter 7 The Arrival. The next morning, I woke up stressed, having had dreams about my mate, wondering when I would see him again. I barely know him, but the mate bond was pulling me to him, invading all of my thoughts. I sighed, towel drying my freshly wet hair, slipping on a pair of gray tracksuit bottoms and a hoodie, not feeling like putting any effort in. I knew the Alpha was arriving today to train the fighters, but it was unlikely I would bump into him, or that he'd even notice me. He would be spending most of his time on the training ground anyway, a place I need to steer clear from. Clara, the Alpha is arriving, hurry up! Yelled Gia from downstairs, causing me to roll my eyes. I pattered down the stairs to see Gia standing by the door, her hair beautifully curled and her makeup applied perfectly, her pink glassy lips smiling at me. What a little much, don't you think, Gia? I laughed, shaking my head. Gia folded her arms over her large chest, raising raising them up slightly, which caused me to chuckle to myself. Is it a crime to want to look nice, Clara? No, no, I said, holding my hands up defensively. But you do know he's here strictly on business duties, right? I doubt he'll have time to mess around with any girls. Plus, we don't even know who he is. He might be like 50. Well, maybe he'll be my mate. I'm not taking the risk of looking like a snob the first time sees me. Snucker Gia, looking me up and down. It's called being comfy. I don't look like a snob, I mumbled, squirming my eyes playfully at her. Why do we have to go and watch him arrive anyway? There's going to be such a big crowd. I bet you won't even be able to see him. It's exciting and I'm bored, announced Gia, waving his arms up, waving hands in waving her hands up in the air. I turned around at the noise of George's wheelchair stopping at the fridge as he pulled it open looking for something to eat. Jared, do you want to come see the Alpha arrive? I asked, causing George's face to drop. No thanks, he mumbled. He murmured, closing the fridge and quickly wheeling off to the living room. Gia swag, offering me a sad smile. It was worth a shot. Let's just go, I said, swagging it off, wondering if I had upset Jared even more by asking. But I wanted him to get out of the house, even if it was just for a minute. I quickly pulled on my shoes, following Gia out of the house as she excitedly stra- shredded down the packed grounds. Her eyes lighting up with joy when she saw the crowd, located by the entrance to Long Lake. Look how many people are here, I said, startled. Gia swag, beaming at me. Maybe they're all hoping he's gonna be their mate. And speaking of mates, have you heard from yours? I cleared my throat, shaking my head. No, we didn't even exchange numbers or anything, so I really don't know when we're gonna see each other again. He's your mate, you'll see him again, encouraged Gia, peeping over as best she could, her tall slumber making it a little easier. Suddenly, harsh whispers filled the air as a fancy black car made its way through the gates. Everyone kept their distance, staying respectfully towards our visitor, not wanting to crowd him. Nice car, mumbled a girl behind me, causing our friends to agree whispering excitedly. Thank you everyone for coming to greet our visitor today, announced Alpha Paul as he exited his office building dressed in a formal blue suit and tie, his gray hair gel back neatly. I'm sure he will feel very welcome. The black car pulled to a stop. The back door opening caused everyone to collectively gasp and quickly cheer. What the? I mumbled, my breath getting caught in my throat. Fuck! Finished Gia, turning to me with wide eyes as her mouth hung open. Dylan stood in front of the crowd, dressed in a white shirt and fitting suit trousers. His dark hair tousled slightly. He smiled slightly at the crowd, offering them a nod before shaking Alpha Paul's and introducing himself. Please welcome Alpha Dylan Ars, announced Alpha Paul. He is so hot, someone said in front of me, causing me to growl slightly, jealousy stirring through my body like electricity. Gia widened her eyes at me, shaking her head at me urgently, causing me to swallow, calming myself. As I said yesterday, Alpha Dylan will be spending most of his time with the fighters, so please do not disturb them. He will be staying in the cabin down by the river for the next week, so please stay away from that area. I know a lot of the young ones like to spend their evenings there, announced Alpha Paul. I noticed Dylan's ocean blue eyes scanning the crowd, searching for something before giving up and turning back towards Alpha Paul. Training will commence tonight, so can all fighters report to our usual spot a little bit earlier than normal so Dylan can go through the schedule for this week with you. Alpha Daniel knocked at the crowd, ushering them away as they parted, making their way back to their homes, a few females loitering, eyeing up my mate. Jess stood next to me, kicking at the ground awkwardly as she looked at me, her mouth set in a firm line. Well, I wasn't expecting that. What the hell is he doing here? I murmured to myself as I made my way past a few people, gently knocking them out of my way. I stopped in my tracks as Dylan's eyes met mine, his ocean blue orbs sparkling even more than normal. He smiled slightly as he looked me up and down, causing me to shiver in place. Dylan knocked his head up once at me, signaling for me to come closer, causing my foot to start moving without hesitation. The pull drawing me to him. Let's give Alpha Dylan some space now, sweetie, said Alpha Paul as he stepped in front of me, stopping me mid-step. Uh, Dylan cleared his throat, stepping forward. Paul, it's okay. She just wants to say hi. Alpha Paul nodded, stepping aside for me to continue, watching me carefully. Hi, I murmured quickly as I glanced up at my mate, aware I was being watched. Seeing Dylan again give me butterflies, also making me feel sick to my stomach from the nerves. Hi, he replied hastily, or smirking at me slightly. Paul, you can go ahead. I'll be in your office in a few minutes. I might as well introduce myself to a few of your PAP members. Alpha Paul agreed hesitantly, making his way back into his office as he straightened his tie, his face a picture of stress. What are you doing at my pack? I asked, confused, flickering with a piece of my chocolate brown hair. It was a business trip that was organized a few weeks ago. Before I met you, I didn't know you would be a part of this pack, replied Dylan. I don't think Alpha Paul likes you being out here alone, I said, causing Dylan to roll his eyes. I was warned about no funny business before I arrived. He doesn't want me messing with any of his PAP members. Why would he say that? I asked, flickering my brows. I guess I used to have a bit of a reputation for it, mumbled Dylan, awkwardly dropping his glance. Messing with girls during business trips? I stuttered, trying to hide the pain talking about dealing with other women caused me. Dylan nodded, clearing his throat awkwardly. He said if I do, then the deal is off and I won't get paid. Oh, I mumbled, flickering with my fingers. Well, rules are made to be broken, whispered Dylan, winking at me before making his way towards Alpha Paul's office.